Man, I am uh, a child of the 90s. I am a third culture kid. I am a born Jamaican. I am a systems and processes person. I love to see everything fit together. One of the reasons why I named the channel How It All Works, because I have this insatiable desire to understand how things fit and how things tick and how things go. And I realized very quickly and early on that, especially when it comes on to the whole spiritual aspect of things, sometimes God doesn't give you all the pieces. Uh, I say all that to say that I have done a good amount of internal work to understand me. Still learning, still very much learning, still very much trying to understand. One of the things I have come to realize and recognize from being a content coach for a number of years is that there are ways. There is this there is a theme, a through line that I have seen in multiple different creators, regardless of their size, regardless of what they do. We benefit significantly from having a prompt. I'll give you an example. I was doing a master's program, and the master's was in cinema, religion, and worldview. I did not finish this master's, but it's a program that I was embarking upon. I was going to get this master's in cinema, religion, and worldview. Just seemed like the perfect blend. But one of the classes I was taking, we had to write out scripts for a short film or a short scene or something like that. And so we had to write out this script, and I wrote out one. It was very difficult. It was very hard. It just didn't feel as natural as I thought it would. And I was saying to myself, man, that was really difficult. The next week we had another assignment, and in this particular assignment, the teacher gave us a list of prompts, and the assignment was that each of us had to create create a script based on the prompt, and no two people could take the same prompt. So I selected this prompt, and I wrote this script based on the prompt. And I remember having a one-on-one with my advisor, and then subsequently the teacher of that particular class, both of them just gushing over the creativity and the concept that I came up with from the prompt. They're like, how did you get all of that from the prompt? And that's what brought home to me that I work better from a prompt. I do not work best from a blank page. And my years of coaching have taught me that there's a myriad of people out there that are just like me. In fact, most people don't work well from a blank page. Give somebody something to edit, and they may end up with a totally different document or story or article than what you originally handed them. But give them a blank page and say, hey, I need a 250-word article for this magazine that's going to go out in 2 weeks. It's the blank page. The blank page, I don't know what it is. It's like this huge mental block. And some people even call it a syndrome, the blank page syndrome, right? And recognizing that you don't have to start from a blank page. I just want to put that out there. You don't actually have to start from a blank page. The title of the live is, work smarter, not harder, the cheat code for content. And the cheat code for content is you don't have to start from a blank page. You want to shift from I need to be creative 24/7, right? Because if you are starting from a blank page every single time, you are forcing yourself to be creative every single time you go live, every time you just sit down to create, every time you want to come up. Having a system, having a framework, having a schedule, having buckets, having subtopics to your main topic, but then also having prompts and having someone like my teacher give you a prompt to choose from and assigning that work. The level of creativity that I don't know, Ed, I was up against that deadline of having to turn in that assignment, and what came out of me is something that I hope to provide in community. Here it is. Being creative 24/7 versus having a system that helps you to generate content over and over and over. I'll just give you a sneak peek that the story that I came up with from that prompt in that cinema and religion and worldview class was this concept that I titled "Covered." It's this play on insurance coverage, right? Are you covered? And I set the scene because, you know, when you're writing a script, you have to, you know, put what the prompt is, what the scene is. You have to describe what people are seeing. You have to be very visual. I don't know how many people have gone through some of this stuff. It's very, you know, it's kind of technical, it's behind the scenes stuff. I know many are consumers, but if you've done any work in the cinema world, if you've done any script writing, you know that you kind of have to write what that backdrop looks like. And so there's just consider, like, there's this call center and phones are ringing and agents are answering the phone, some providing customer service, others discussing what needs to be covered. And it's an insurance agency essentially. And one of the agents runs into the boss's office and is like, "Man, we've got a code red." And the code red is there's a person who doesn't have coverage. And you know, everybody's scrambling, trying to figure out how can we get this person covered? How can we get this person covered? And then the big boss walks in and says, "Hey, send an agent right now. We got coverage." And before even asking any questions, this agent is dispatched to this person so that they can do their job. And then the other person who had the phone call now says to the big boss, like, "What happened? How did they get coverage? Where did you find it? We couldn't find any coverage." And the big boss then says, he has a grandmother that just prayed. And so that kind of flips, right? Because that's the concept. I'm painting this picture of an insurance agency, but it's not insurance coverage. It's God's coverage, and the agents are angels, and you have this person, a human who's in trouble, and they didn't have coverage because they had not prayed. They had not done their worship. They had no coverage, but a grandmother, oh gosh, that thing gets so, a grandmother prayed for them. And because the grandmother prayed for them, they were able to send and dispatch an agent to this person. And they were able to provide coverage. I only share this not because that's the point today. Though I share this because that came from a prompt. It came from a prompt. It came from a systemized process that my professor created to elicit from us, the students, the best, most creative response possible. We've got to, in our content, for our business, for our brand, shift from always coming from a blank page. The creative process is not done best in isolation. The biggest friction point in branding is starting from scratch every day. And a strong community provides resources, it provides templates, it provides scripts, it provides swipe files that do 80% of the heavy lifting so you can focus on the final 20% of delivery. 80%. I was trying to see if I could show my screen, but I don't think I have it set up to do that. 80%. Willpower is a finite resource. Templates are forever. I want to repeat that, y'all. Willpower is do you recognize that willpower is an amalgamation of all these things aligning? Am I in the right mood? Do I have time? Is my mind clear? Am I distracted about different things that are going on? Willpower requires the person to be in the ideal scenario, whereas a template, you can whip out a template and say, okay, let me just fill in these pieces. I fill in these pieces, I'm good to go. Stop staring at a blinking cursor Join community where you can get access to resources, templates, swipe files, scripts that do the heavy lifting. The exact assets that cut your content creation time in half. That's what this link is on the screen for right now. That's what this entire thing is all about. Work smarter, not harder. People have throw around this title of the cheat code for content all over the place. And I'm here to tell you that the ultimate cheat code for content is community. The ultimate cheat code for content is knowing that somebody has actually gone ahead of you, has gone through all of the issues, struggles, stresses, and strife, and has cleared a path, not cleared a path, making sure that it's easy. What they've done is simply created a guide so that you can just plug in and deliver the value that you know you have to provide. I have this page here. Let's see. I'm going to be able to show this real quick. Let's get that there. Let's go. Yep, I've got. Let's get a camera on this screen here, and then we're going to add my screen share. Boom, there we go. And that seemed to work fairly easily. And we'll put that there, and we're just gonna pull that down a little bit, pull one above the other, and then publish. All right, so this is a screen share of the community that I have been chatting about. This is the what I would hope that you would join. Not necessarily this particular community, but either way. And I see there's several of you on the live with us today. Thank you for hanging out. But here's one that I wanted to kind of showcase. Okay, content strategy. This is the fuel. 50 storytelling prompts. These are the kinds of things that you would have access to. If hooks that evoke vulnerability, empathy, and personal connection. I didn't realize how much blank affected me until blank happened. Do you see what that prompt is doing right there? This when I talk about taking the guesswork out, this is it. There's 50 of these. Okay, let me scroll down a couple more pages. No, okay, thought-provoking. Okay, conflict-driven. Here we go. Hooks that challenge beliefs, provoke reaction, and create tension. If this offends you, it's probably because now you fill in the blank. These are prompts that I know work. Now I'm gonna take it off of the screen because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you guys actually join. I don't want you to just screenshot what you see in the live stream today. But the point is, there's only so much that I can do and share and provide publicly out there in the forums. Because even if I were to hand you this document of 50 prompts, you would still need a coach, a guide, somebody to walk you through what scenario you'd want to use which prompt. I said yesterday, the challenge isn't so much that we need more information. We've got too much information. Information is information overload at this point. How do we apply the information? It's not just watching, it's winning. YouTube University is great, but it's also a trap because it's just more information. And how you apply the information is sometimes taught, but other times it is caught. And one of the other things I love about being in community is that the community gets to see, like I'm looking at Steve right now. Steve is one of my community members. He's actually inside my community group in a live chat that we have inside school. He not only is able to ask specific questions about what he's working on, he's also able to watch me mess it up. He's able to watch me get it right. He's able to glean from my experiences information that will help him, context, not just information, that will help him to harness the power of the information he's receiving. Work smarter, not harder. Leverage the power of community leverage the power of coaching. That's why I'm excited to be able to showcase and share. There's Steve. I'm excited to be able to showcase and share that this coming Tuesday, next Tuesday, January 27th, we're going to be having this graduation for the A-List Digital Footprint Founders Group, right? This is the pilot program that we just finished, and we're transitioning this whole group into 1 year of coaching, and it's going to be great. I'm excited about it. But I wanted to make sure that you get a chance to come to that graduation. But in addition to coming to the graduation, I also wanted to make sure you guys get a chance to see what the community looks like. There's, as I mentioned before, there's the community piece, and you can see this live video series. This is where I mentioned before that Steve is actually in there right now. You've got different posts from myself, from others. Here's a question that's being asked. Here's another one that's being posted. Here's another one that's being asked. We're celebrating 2.3 million views for Tracy right here. How to handle giveaway on YouTube. These are the kinds of things that you may have questions about. And to be clear, you may not have these questions yet, but because you're in community, you get a chance to see what others are doing so that when you get to that point, you now have the ability to share, to be benefited by the other person that went ahead of you. The community section has a number of different discussion topics. So we got a session replays tab. We have the general discussion tab. We can have our share your wins tab. Of course, neighbor testimonials, some other things, content/YouTube. We also have studio workflow. We have a StreamYard tab in here and an Ecamm Live tab in here. These are just the discussion. We also have a calendar that has all of our meetings. And of course, you can see some of the things that are coming up this week, up to and including the masterclass that's coming up on Sunday, YouTube Success with Ecamm. I don't have access to this because of what I'm using right now is not logged into an account that is actually a member of this community. You also have the classroom tab, and in the classroom tab, there is a ton of resources, but resources and information, it's no different than having the videos on YouTube. The point, the challenge, I would say, the opportunity that you want to leverage is this concept of getting into a space where somebody can guide you. We're getting into a space where you can actually see a living example of what you want to achieve, hope to achieve, and be in a community of people who are driving themselves, right? That healthy competition, that always helps, is to see when you come on a weekly call and somebody says, man, I ran the thing, I posted the thing, I did the work, and these are the results. Now I'm going to tweak, I'm going to go back, and what kind of fire does that place within you? I'm telling you, I have benefited greatly from being in community and just super excited to be able to provide community to others. So that's really the main thing for today. Let me catch a couple of comments before I close it out and then talk to some folks inside the community. I see David Hunt is with us today. Thank you so much for being with us, my friend. He says, we live. Always love to see it. Yuritsi is with us. Haven't seen you in a little bit, man. Thank you so much for being with us. Always good. Haha, BPS, blank page syndrome. That's good, David. Technicom Media says, good to be in the house. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. We love it. Always good to see taking us to church. I mean, school. David, you're having a good time in the chat today. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Work smarter, not harder. I keep on saying that thing, flip. Work smarter, not harder. Not harder. Not harder. That's the blank page syndrome, in my opinion, is the hard way. And I'm simply saying what I have recognized in order to drastically cut down the amount of time it takes to go from knowing what I need to do next, knowing what my best next option is, or not knowing what my best next option is. It all comes down to a person. It comes down to a community. It comes down to some resources. And I think the challenge in this current market where there's just so much information, like if you take 20 minutes and just scroll on social media, there's ads. There are so many gurus just sharing with you, do this, buy my this, buy my that. The community aspect to me is such a cheat code because you're really just, for the most part, I mean, it's $9 a month for the community. So what you're really paying for is to make sure that we keep some of the unwanted elements out of the community. We don't want folks coming in there just spamming. Nobody does that. Nobody's going to pay $9 a month just to come in and spam. Nobody does that. As soon as I changed my community from free to paid, bots stopped coming in. And so what you're paying for is a private space and somebody who's going to create an atmosphere where learning and true transformation and knowledge transfer can take place. And those are the things that we've been going live this week to talk about. Of course, highlighting things like the graduation. We hope that you come, but also highlighting the need that we each have for being in community. I believe it's a need. I believe it's an innate base need that God has implanted and imprinted on each one of us, that we be in community with others. And that is where true transformation takes place. It's what my experience has been, and I'm excited about being able to provide that opportunity for others. Well, with that said, I think we are done for today. And definitely, if you're watching this live, thank you so much for being with us. If you are watching this on replay, hey, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have questions. Definitely would love to be able to hear from you as well. Grace and peace, fam. David, I'll just say this. If you can just jump into the community, Steve and I are going to have a quick chat before we shut it down for the day. But for those that are online, we hope to see you tomorrow, or we hope to see you during the masterclass. Later.